Okay, in this video we're going to show you how to collect the data in order to plot your graph out. What will happen is I'm going to click this tool in order to add data points. So I'm going to put the cursor right here on the reference point on my fan cart, and you might remember from the last video I said I was going to use the leading edge of that yellow tape as my reference point, and I will click. And when I do that, the video will automatically advance in time by 1 frame to the next spot. Oh, now we can tell it to advance at other rates. We can adjust it here. We can make it advance forward 1 frame at a time, or 2 frames at a time, or 5 frames at a time. Actually, for my sample, I think I'll go ahead and make this advance forward 2 frames at a time. So since this video was recorded at 30 frames per second, every time it jumps forward 2 frames, it will be like jumping forward in time by 2/30ths of a second. So we'll record the location of the fan cart at its very first spot, and then 2/30ths of a second later, where was it? And then 2/30ths of a second later, and so on. So it's all ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and just click right here, and 1 data point will be added, and the car will jump forward 2/30ths of a second in time. So I line up again on the yellow tape, and I just keep lining up on that yellow tape, and every time I do that, the software records the position, how far away that data point is from the origin that we set earlier. And remember, it's recording it in both the X and Y dimensions. So the Y, or the vertical dimension, really shouldn't be changing very much, other than it's hard for me to line it up exactly the same height every time. And it's also then measuring the distance along the X-axis, or the horizontal dimension, from that reference point. So every time I'm clicking here, I'm taking 1 data point worth of data. And so you can see it's pretty easy to collect a lot of data pretty quickly. And as I do this, notice over on the right, my data table is filling in and my graph is being plotted. So it's plotting a displacement versus time graph for this accelerated motion. All right, that's probably enough data points there. So I'm now going to click Edit. If I wanted to change any of these, I could click on one and delete a data point if I wanted to, but I've got plenty of data. So my data has all been entered. It's been put in the data table here, and the graph has been plotted. So that's how you set up your data. From here on, analyzing the graph is very much the same as it is in graphical analysis, which you learned how to do in Lesson 1. But in the next video, I'll go on ahead and show you how to set up the title on the graph, and how to get your axes set up and put the best fit line, that sort of thing on there, like we did when you were learning how to use graphical analysis.